Kenyan media has come under sharp focus in the way the just concluded general election was covered.
The media has received both praises and criticism almost in equal measure. But what really were the practical options for the local media in this election? KTN's Noah Otieno reports.
Now that the general election of March 2013 is over and the determination of the presidential election petitions at the Supreme Court already concluded, the hard questions must be asked. And some of these questions have to do with how the Kenyan media itself covered the general election of March 2013.
The media, especially local media, deserves special attention. For their fair coverage of the elections and in conducting themselves in a most exemplary and responsible way.
Well, you may not know, but there was a conspiracy by the local media to completely give blackout to any complaints by the contestants.
There are many others who are still not sure how to rate the local media's performance in the coverage of the issues surrounding the election. But one of the experts involved in the defense of freedom of expression in Kenya insists that the media failed Kenyans in some critical aspects.
The chair came up after a day or so to tell us that the constitution gives him 6 more days to announce results. But we didn't remind him that he had voluntarily told Kenyans he would announce results in 48 hours. What had changed? As a manager, was he telling us his planning wasn't up to bit? Where was this question to ask him this?
Was the media too cautious or too reluctant to criticize the IEBC? The vice chairman of the Kenya Editors Guild, David Ohito, believes that the media did not deprive Kenyans of what they needed to know.
Look at how the media carried the stories of the failed BVR tender systems. And we carried the stories day in until Parliament had to stop the procurement, until government had to cancel that tender and look for more competent people.
I think what journalists did in relaying peace messages was okay. But if peace messages supplanted news, if peace messages tended to then be used to cover up a slot where there would have been a controversial question, asking the competence of IEBC, asking a process of manipulating the voting or the tallying process, then that could be a very big risk we got ourselves in.
Well, the practical options were, I think, what we did. Maybe, I don't know which other way we would have done it, because if we had gone the same way we covered the elections last time, probably would have seen more emotions coming out, and probably would have had a lot of reaction or negative reaction in terms of appealing to the emotions of the people.
I don't think there was any information that I held back. I did give all the information that I could to my superiors, who were the second gatekeepers. So they decided what would go on air and what wouldn't go on air. But there would be no regrets of information withheld from the public.
Some candidates and political players were very angry at the collective Kenyan media for not airing their complaints live as results were streaming in from the polling stations.
It's very difficult to check the tongue of a loose politician, and Kenyan politicians are very disgraceful when they go live sometimes. Some of the things you and me know pretty well that we did not air are pretty bad, and even if we air them today, they would have instant impact on society. They would inflame ethnic tensions and even force people on the streets to riot.
The duty the Kenyan media had to Kenyans in this election and the self-assessment of the performance of the Kenyan media in the coverage of the 2013 election will continue to be examined for years to come. Noah Otieno, KTN, at the Standard Media Group Center in Nairobi.